This thing is not working. Okay. There yet? Just get that thing to stop wobbling around. Enough. Pass. Okay. One, 2, 0. 0 so far. 0. None. None so far. Huh. Huh. And you get one. There's one. Alright. There's our one. Oh, at the end of the day, I cracked this stone right there. So we're going to replace that one. Happens. It'll happen. Everything on top of it, you know. Hard to make the job is set. She got stuff all over. And trying to not make too much of a mess on everything. And this would be the time that the wind would pick up and blow that thing across the yard, with my luck. Get this over here, get that over there. Get you guys all set up and entertained. Boards. You guys all set up and entertained. I should learn, or try to remember, that I don't have to turn all that on right away. I can actually focus on getting my stuff set up and get going. But usually I just want to get that dang thing out of the way, because as you see, I don't do a lot of published stuff anymore. I don't have the time. So now I'm stuck, relegated to the old life. Yoink. That's gonna be there. Good enough. Looks good to me. We'll just keep breaking them. Well, the cord is going to be an annoyance today. I see that already. The cord is going to keep getting tangled in things and getting in the way of things. Entangling itself even further. Get it all over here, untangled. See how can they ever make a cord that doesn't twist up? And it doesn't matter how many times I've tried to get the cord to not twist up on itself, it still does. I've tried flaking the cord into a bucket, then you pull it out and it looks like a rat's nest if you pull the wrong end. I've tried many things. No one really knows. Who's to say? Who's to say what really works anymore? Every time I try wrapping the cord in my hand and keeping it loose so that you have one end on top and one end on bottom when you lay it down on the ground flat, you want to pick it up, then you can just flip it to whatever end you're pulling. So I try to do it, but then for some reason you get it all nice and not coiled, just, yeah, I guess coiled. You get it all nice and set, ready for action. You pull it out and it's a complete knot. It knots itself up overnight, sitting in the toolbox. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. Well, and this guy here, I keep finding fractures in it as I'm working with it. And it likes having a lot of voids underneath it. It doesn't really want to accept being set properly. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just all fractures. Maybe it's all cracked and broken up. And it's just waiting to be hit. So then the minute you get it set in place and you think you're good, one last tap on it, and it cracks. You're cracking up on me, Doc. You're cracking up on me. Yeah, so you get these kind of, there's something that keeps crawling around on my ear and my head. Sorry, not a meth addict or crackhead. And literally, there's something keeps. It's warm. It's humid. It's still summer. Still summer, believe it or don't. It's like we had one day of cooler, rainier weather, and all of a sudden you see people out, and we're talking like, oh, I don't know, 69 degrees, 70. High 70s all day, and then 60, 69 at night. Might have hit 65 late at night. People are walking around in freaking ski hats and gloves and ski jacket. Too early, guys. I know you all love fall, but too early. Too early for my blood. Sorry, I still got at least another month left of summer in my head. I try to not do the sweatshirts and jackets thing, because as soon as I do, I get in the habit of it. and I'll find myself going like, oh, it's way too hot. Like, why am I sweating? And I won't realize that I'm overheated and sweating because I've got a freaking sweatshirt on and 90-degree weather. So maybe that's the thing, is they get a little cold and they put the sweatshirt on, and psychology gets them to where they are now wearing the sweatshirt all the time. This is almost a 4-cross, but not. You see what's happening there. And I could do more there. I could take out more. I could mess with it some more if I wanted to. I still might. Psychologically. Psychology. Take some from here and bring it over here. That's where you can keep lifting them up. When you got just these little amounts to adjust. So I keep my edges open. I try to fill my middles, and then keep the edges with a little bit of openness, because then that's where I can add or subtract there. If I need, I can pack more in and push it under, or I can add more to that edge and give it lift. And as you give it lift, it's going to spread out and disperse, in theory. It's one way that I can do it without breaking them. They don't seem to break when I do it this way, so that to me says that they're going in nice and solid. And oh, they're talking about they don't seem to break, and look what I just did. That's because we had a big piece in there. Could be anything. Could have been my fault. Go figure, right? They don't seem to break. Snap. Go! Go! Well, that one did broke. While we're here, I mean, I can easily, because I'm seeing a number of things happening, we could easily, almost like this was planned, I don't know. I don't know, guys. You tell me. Almost like I think this was pre-planned. Wonk. Wouldn't that be cool just to cut that sucker right in there? Wonk. Well, what do you guys think? I'm kind of for it. That's a fossil stone. I think it's really cool, and I think it's it might keep us from having to chisel this stone down. I really like this stone, but you see where the one does that, and then because of that crown on this one goes lower in there, and I'm not really at a loss if I nip these guys. I think we're going to do that. I just don't know if I want to keep this bent guy. Let me see what I got. Let's see what we got. A white one here. Because that's the other thing. If we lift that down, then we're losing that entire piece. And I think that's kind of a nice piece. got here? What do we got? Whoa. What do we got? Yeah. I think I could replace that with this if I was really careful about it. Because it's just a little bit short here and there, but being what it is, I don't want to waste that piece. And then this, I think I'm just going to magnify that. We've got a bunch of people here. It's always fun. Yeah, you saw me yesterday, and I wasn't at all with what? Huh? Are you on crack? I don't really understand. Can you talk straight? I can't understand that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's Isabel. Okay, that makes sense. Isabel, how's it going? Yeah, I've seen you here before. You're always fun time. That's why. Because it's that person. How's it going? Not saying anything against you, just saying, okay, I get it now. I get why it's not making sense what you're saying. Because you've been here before. I've probably rotted your brain at this point. Right? Oh, are you saying it doesn't look at all like how it did yesterday? Is that what you mean? That I kind of get it. So yeah, we're just switching and we're doing this hippy dippy type of thing where you make one small mistake and then it leads you into a whole new set of rules. little thin on this one, but there again, it's long enough, it's thick enough that if it doesn't move while I'm working on it, I'm not going to worry about it. It's still stable, still solid. Can always replace these two. I don't want to, but if I have to. Won't if I don't have to. Would rather not. Made myself a high pressure hand wash station out of that thing there. That's what that was built for. The truth comes out. I'm just one of those weird inventor types, I guess. Yeah, had to go through all that. Welded that cover up and did the plumbing on it. Hooked the diamond blade up to it. Yeah, welded this and built that. Hooked all that up. Took a day. It was like a 1 hour job, 2 hour job. What I looked at in the beginning, it's going to be a 1-2 hour job. Took a whole day. Took a whole entire day to do it. It's nice now though, it works great. Sprays where I want it to spray. Doesn't spray where I don't. I mean, my pants, I can get in the car with them. Before running that thing, I was covered. Everything was just getting covered. you couldn't walk out of here without tracking dust the stone dust. You're bringing it with you everywhere you went. I can go shopping in the same clothes I work in now, and I'm dirty, but it's clean dirt. It's brand new shoes. Brand new shoes, 2 months old, completely falling apart. 2 months old. Junk. Keen, get your act together. You used to have good shoes. Now they're just garbage. And I even told him that in the store. I said, you got anything better than Keen? They go, oh, Keen are the best. Ooh. They fall apart, man. They're garbage. And then the shoe store lady's like, you have to wear Keens that are a size and a half too large for your feet. And I'm like, what? She goes, yeah. If you're normally an 8, you got to go a 9.5 with these. I'm like, that makes no sense. Why? Why would I want to go to a 9.5 if I'm an 8? Well, because these are hard sole shoes. She had this whole thing, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I was like, if I go 9.5, they're going to be falling off of my feet. She said, yep, they're supposed to be that way. I'm like, you don't buy shoes that fall off your dang feet. I mean, I went 8.5. I was like, that's how easy the shoe slips on and slips off, even if I tighten the laces off. I was like, I need something that fits my feet, and I've worn Keens for years, and they seem to be a pretty durable. Well, they used to be a pretty durable work shoe. Now they're just garbage. Now they're not even worth buying, in my opinion, because they just fall apart. They've become fashionable. Oh, look, he's got Keens. He must be an outdoorsman. He must do stuff outdoors because he has Keens on. I mean, that's what they've become. They've become like a fashion trend, and they're becoming kind of useless, like everything else. Like everything else that was good at one time, like Carhartts. Carhartts used to be work clothes, but then they got adopted by the hipster and fashion crowd. Now, you go in the junk store, in the thrift store to get a pair of Carhartts. Most times you got to go in the women's section and look for them because all the women, it's a fashion thing. I don't understand. It's ridiculous. We ought to have rules for some things. Like you want Carhartts, they're all in the men's section. Because now the men looking for Carhartts in the women's section are getting funny looks. Well, and you know that they make Carhartts for women. You don't have to put all the Carhartts in the women. They're not all for women. They go, oh, these are female work pants. Great. Now Carhartts have become female work pants. No men. They're not made for men anymore at all. Just like Dickies. Dickies have gone completely in the wrong direction. Their pants now, they got real tight legs. The legs fit real tight, and the waistline is real saggy, real big and saggy on them. So it's like they're made to fit a skeleton with like really wide hip bones or something. I don't understand. Who's coming up with all this stuff? Like I go to buy a pair of work pants, and they're tight in the legs, but the waist is dropping, like the whole waist actually drops down, and I can't even walk in them. I got to get a pack of zip ties just to make a pair of work pants fit now. Even a belt won't hold them up. The minute you undo the belt, the pants drop down to your knees. It's like they deliberately design the pants so that the minute the legs are tight, everything else wants to drop down past like this point. So I don't understand. I don't know who tests these pants out. Where's the test track where they test pilot the pants? Because I'm still looking for a decent pair of pants. If it wasn't made in like 1990, it doesn't fit bodies like mine. It doesn't fit people like me. Even these, I mean, they're constantly sagging. These are actually the best fitting pair of pants that I have because they're not bike short tight here, and the waist is actually smaller than the legs, than the thighs, which is should be. That should be how it is. I don't know how guys bigger than me, probably because they don't have legs as thick as mine. I have pretty thick legs. Small guy with big legs for his build. I was always that kid who you look in the photographs, it's like I got 2 tree trunks and I'm this skinny little shit of a kid. Like my leg is as wide as me. You know, I've always had that. You know, look at the pictures. Oh, and I knew it because there's cracks in this stone. So I got to cut that one again. I was starting out looking at this. When I cut it too, there's pieces that came off that split the minute I cut that edge. So not a big deal. Not a big deal. Get another one. Get another rock. Get another rock to cut. That was a little thin. I could use it, but I'm not gonna. Okay, hopefully one of these will be the right size. Got 2 nice ones here. 2 nice specimens. It's really weird when polysand is drying and setting up. It stinks. It smells like dry cleaning. I don't like that smell. It's like that chemically. You guys, that's one thing about dressing up. I'll tell you, the one thing I can't stand about weddings and being dressed up in a monkey suit, tuxedo, whatever they call it, even suits and ties, anything that's been dry cleaned, it stinks. I can't stand the smell. It's like a bad chemical odor. You guys You guys have that? I got a smell thing. I got a thing about smells. It's like this morning when I opened an orange juice container that I bought just last night from the store. I instantly got the smell of butt in my nose. Now I can't, and orange juice is becoming, it's like, it's not the first time. It's becoming a very bad, dirty industry. And I mean dirty because it's like they're selling us a product that's dirty. I mean, it smells like it's got some kind of frickin' bad fungus or something in it. I can't drink it anymore. I threw it out. I was like, well, there's $7 wasted. $7 for garbage. Plastic tasting garbage that smells like butt. Well, this one's got a crack in it too, but I'm gonna see if I can work with it, because I'm aware that that's there. Let me see. Let me just see if I can get past that. Plastic tasting butt. Not good. Not good. I don't like the smell of plastic smelling, tasting butt. Alright, see that? Thing blew off of it. No, you don't see that. This dang thing will not stay now because now the wind's picking up. Of course, there was no wind at all when I got here. Now we're getting a stiff breeze right across there. Keeping me busy anyway. Busier than a squirrel in a nut house. Keeping me occupied. At least it's keeping me out of trouble for now. ABCD plan 12. Alright, so now we're on to plan 12. Look, we got this one, the cool fossil. I want to put it in there and then decide. Because you saw that I was pointing that there was a crack there, and then I came across the crack on the other side of the corner of the stone, which I pointed out, and you saw how easily, how quickly it just fell apart. nice fossil. You see that? It's pretty. It's like a piece of wood or something. A piece of petrified wood. Let's see if I can pull this off without creating a whole disaster here. See that? Nice piece of petrified wood or a leaf. It looks like wood. Burnt piece of wood. I'm going to put that right in the walkway. Why not? I would love to have a walkway that has fossils. Has really cool fossils in it. Then the thing is, if that ever pops out, because sometimes fossils do pop out over the years, if it ever popped out, you could just fill it with something. It would look cool because you'd have a fossil of the fossil, like you'd have the reverse impression of it. What was there? I don't think it's gonna though. We could always seal it. We could enamelize it. Just that one little thing to seal it in and try to keep it there. Wax, maybe? Like paraffin wax preservative? Might work. Something light. Something that's not gonna impede on it. It's not gonna change its composition. Just something to protect it, because it could be a little bit softer stone than all the stone around it. I don't know. I'm trying to be gentle with this guy. I think this might be the answer to this equation, because I don't want to have to chisel this guy down. It's a nice stone. I'd rather not go to all that work if I can help it. I don't want to break this one though. That's my other point here. Is try not to break the nice one. The really weird one. The one now that everything is pretty much centered around. It's a really cool stone. It looks cool, man. Like, whoa, like Andy Goldsworth. Actually, no. And the funny thing is I said this to someone recently who was here. I was like, yeah, it's like if Osamu Noguchi had if he had known how to use excavators and welding torches, because he was a well-known sculptor, designer, artist who did really crazy natural stuff back in the 70s and 80s. Really popular. But I'm like him, but I don't. But I use heavy equipment and torches and shit like that for my work. And she's like, "Why does it matter?" I'm like, "It doesn't." I was like, I'm just saying, like, you were saying that I was like Andy Goldsworthy or whatever. I met the guy. He stole my work one time from me. I never had any respect for him. He was local. Well, he wasn't local, but he came around all the time, and everybody was like, "Oh, Andy Goldsworthy, blah 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 blah." Well, I had some work that wound up him taking all the credit for it one time. People were like, "Oh, that's Andy Goldsworth." I was like, And I had pictures of me doing the installation too. My friend took pictures of it when I was down there doing it. My friend was with me as my witness. She's like, "No, Mark did that." But then Andy Goldsworthy was like very, very shy about admitting that it wasn't him that did it. The whole thing. So, and I never really respected the guy too much because he doesn't actually do a lot of the work. Like, I saw a video, I thought he was cool. He wasn't all this that everybody made him out to be. He never was to me. I kind of looked at it, I'm like, well, yeah, he just, you know, he spits on icicles and glues them back together and makes little spirals and cool shapes out of them. But, like, I know where to find that shit in nature. I know where to find snow and ice doing that in nature. Isn't that more cool to go see it happen? Like, to go see it just out in the middle of the woods at a certain spot? Like, that's more magical to me. Isn't that what this is all about, is magic, man? If you're all hippy-dippy about it. But, yeah, I mean, I met the guy personally, and he always seemed to be very egotist, and then I saw documentaries about him, and all the guys that, you know, like, he would design these things, and then he'd have crews of guys come in who operated machinery and did all the building. He had skilled builders and machine operators come in and do all the work. And they all said that he was horrible to work for. They couldn't wait to be done with his projects because he was so nitpicky and so hard to deal with. They're like, I'm a stone wall builder, just let me build the wall. He's like, no, this one has to be this way. And he had such this weird vision. It was like, look, if you're that picky about it, how about you learn to do it yourself? You know, like, I've had customers like that, and I've told them, I'd say, well, good, you should be doing it yourself. You know, like, that's why I don't work for them anymore. That's why I didn't get along with Andy when I met him. But I tell people that I'm more like of the Dan Snow school of thought. Dan Snow is an actual builder. He's a utilitarian or an industrial trained, like, you know, he's union, whatever, bricklayers, block. He's a mason. And he does this phenomenal work. He's out of Vermont. He's so well known in the stoneworking world that he has a whole line of hammers that he designed that Trow and Holden manufactures. For him, it's the Dan Snow series. The mash hammers, the carbide tip, special hammers that, you know, this guy actually sat down with a company and said, this is what I think we need. Let's design this and build it. And it'll be a cool tool. You know, it's like a rock musician who designs a guitar. Do I miss the fair? Hey, what's up? I never wear knee pads. They hurt my knees too much. Yeah, I mean, tell you what, guys, I haven't done the fair in years. And being back there this year, it's its own little world. You're in your own little world when you're there. You become a different mindset. It's, you know, it's hard because it's midsummer, it's hot as heck, and you're just stepping away from everything else in your life for a solid week to go entertain people at a fair. It's a different world. And to tell you the truth, yes, by the end of the fair, I was standing there going, this may be all right to do again next year, but I'm going to need to spend a lot of money before then to make it doable. It's not about the actual event. The actual event is great. The people are great. Um, and this year's preparation was better than years in the past. Actually, years in the past, I think I did have 2 cars there, and that was kind of where I said I need to have that. I need to have one for staying there and storing stuff and keeping things in, or a trailer. Either 2 cars or a trailer or a U-Haul. A U-Haul and a bike, a motorcycle, so I can peel out at night. It's nice to just jump in a vehicle at the end of the day and leave. That's the way to do it. Or if you're going to camp there, But if you're going to camp there, then you got to have the camper, and you got to have I'd need a big camper because I'd need to be able to store stuff, my tools and stuff in it, the stuff that I didn't need up front. Setup was a little tricky this year with the fair because of where they had me. They had me in the middle of everything, which not at this fair, but at other fairs, I had a bad experience with that at one fair, and it was kind of like eerily getting that way in the beginning for me, like feeling like it was going to be just like that experience that I had at the other fair that turned out being one of those fairs that I don't ever want to go back to. That was a once. I tried that fair once. And it was the Otsego Fair. It was the worst fair I ever did. They were just disorganized that year because they had a lot of flooding. But it seemed to me like nobody wanted me there to begin with because I was the new guy. Oh, you're not like the other guy. The other guy used to do this and the other guy used to do that. And I was like, well, you told me you were going to have all the wood when I showed up here and you had none. And then you finally brought me wood and it was a bunch of dried out rotten stuff. Basically, I stole a tractor. I stole the keys to a tractor and went down in the woods with a couple guys and cut my own logs because I was like, after 2 days of being there, I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. I need to get stuff done. So, yeah, it didn't start out good because that was the first thing is I showed up and they didn't even have my pile. I was like, where am I setting up? I don't even see my pile of logs. Well, it's because they didn't have them there yet. The logs showed up right after I got my tent set up. Oh, he's coming. He's on his way. And he dumped off like a whole bunch of dried out larch and spruce and basswood. I was like, this is not, that's not what you gave the last guy who was here. No, he got all cherry, all green cherry. I was like, yeah, I said I would take that too. I don't have anything against carbon. Nice, fresh cherry. Cherry's nice wood. Oh, we thought you didn't want a real hardwood. I was like, you brought me basswood. That's a hardwood. That's one of the worst hardwoods to cut around here. Our basswood sucks. It's real stringy. Clogs everything up. It's more like a poplar than it is a basswood. Unpopular, we call it. So, yeah, that's still high and that's still high. And I don't want to break this. I'm just trying to be real careful with it. It's just touch and go with this guy here. You don't want to get too crazy and break it. I really don't want to break this one. I'm afraid I will. I'm afraid it's going to break at some point. What I might do, actually, with something like this, the trick for this would be to get some dry concrete. Set it in dry concrete so just a little thin bed of it, so that then anchors in to the grit, and you set your grit kind of loose, not too tight. Works. We've done it before. I think that looks good. That's how you set. That's how you set tread steps. That's how I set steps, and I set those tread steps. I set them in dry concrete, just a little thin layer on top of your grit. Beautiful set. Works perfect. Or mortar or concrete, any kind of masonry product. Could probably use poly sand, but I don't think I would for something like this because it's rubbery. It turns rubbery when it sets up. And it stinks too. It smells like dry cleaning. It smells like a wedding party. Like, I can't stand that smell. That's a horrible smell. And it's all synthetic clothes anyway. I can't stand those type of. I don't know how people can dress in that stuff every day. It drives me nuts. I've had jobs where you have to dress a certain way, and I feel like such a clown. Such a clown. Even like the gas station job where you gotta wear the gas station shirt. I'm like, and they went from the golf shirts, because I hate golf shirts. I think they're the dumbest shirts ever. It's like a t-shirt, but we'll put buttons on the collar on it. Why? That's pointless. That doesn't help you work. It doesn't help you get anything done. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't even look good. I think you look like a dummy in them. They only make a certain type of person look good. Usually those people aren't real hard workers. They're not your labor force that you can rely on. But I just think about these things in work situation, like things that can snag on things, like like if this snags on something, it's gonna rip off of my body. Done deal. It will not hurt me. My shirt will not hurt me or choke me if it snags on something. I've had many t-shirts ripped off of me while I was in the middle of doing something, flying through the air or falling or working. I've been around equipment and had my shirt ripped off my back before, and it was just like, what? Where'd my shirt go? Like that quick. But I think, like, how do you dress up every day and go to some office and everybody stinks like dry cleaning? Do you guys ever? I mean, I can't dress like that. I can't smell it. I can't stand the smell. It smells like, that's what poly sand smells like to me. It's like dry clean. It's got a certain distinct bleh. Like bleh. I don't know. Yes, I'm overreacting for sure. Sure. I'm almost. Yeah, see, that's a little short. That's a little short, like me. Yeah, ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna do it. I might have to cut that. Well, that one's too thin anyway. Alright. So I got pterodactyl too thin. That looks really cool. Dak. We got Dak in. That one's a smell. It's bugging me so bad today. It's like muriatic acid. You smell muriatic? It's dry cleaning. It's the same smell. It's like muriatic acid has that same stink to it. I just can't. I can't stand being around it after a while. It's yucky. It's like swimming pools. Swimming pools stink. I have a very strong sense of smell. And things like that burn my nose. Burn. Burn it. Burn it. Burn. 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 Used to work with a guy that would talking dirt bike all day. All day long. And just sit there. Like everything, like if you listen to a dirt bike going through a trail in the woods, he would sound just like that all day long. As long as he's working. As long as you're working. I don't care. It's funny. All day. That's all you hear. This thickness of this wood. It's a solid stone. I'd like to have it twice as thick. Like that one's super thick there, but it's too small. Maybe do 2 halves. I don't know. Because I got it cut. I don't like pieces that small though. This is like the smallest that I want them to be. I don't like them to get much smaller. Thing is that's all the stone that I have left for this part of the job. I want to at least get that line in, and then think about buying more stone. You're gonna have to buy more stone to finish. But right now I'm just trying to get out of here. I might have to take one of the big ones and chop it up. Hate to do that though. I can't stand this smell. I don't know why it bugs me so bad today. It's hurting my throat. I like the smell of weed too. All the kids, because it's legal now, all the college kids they're all smoking it all the time. Kids who never smoked it before, or kids who never smoked anything in their lives, you see them working on a big old fatty out on the street now like we're in Amsterdam. I don't have anything against it, but there's a lot of times that certain strains, certain smells of it bugs the hell out of me. It irritates my throat real bad. And there's, smoked it when I was young. Not afraid to admit that. We all did our things. There's still times, I'm partying or whatever, just relax. If it relaxes you, I say why not. If it becomes a thing that you need every single day just to function, then it's a problem. Just like alcohol. I've gone through those times in my life where I feel like I can't do anything without having a drink. Like literally in the middle of the day. And I wouldn't drink because I had to drive. I mean, there were days where if I, I'd take a sick day and I'd stay home, not drive the car, have a few in the morning and then pass out in the middle of the afternoon and then wake up and be like, oh, I feel better. That was bad. That was where my body was needing it all the time. And that only lasted a couple years. It was tough. And no, I didn't have to go to AA to get over it. I just stopped. I told myself I was headed down the wrong path. It's like I can have 2 or 3 now and be cool. I can go days or weeks without having anything to drink. Oh, is that a crack? This is going to drive me nuts because every single stone that I grabbed for this already has cracks in them. Now I'm starting to see things. It's starting to get to me now, trying to get this one stone, and it's because I don't have a lot here to choose from. I'm just trying to get this one thing done. For now, just put it in place, and then if it becomes a problem when we go to finalize it, then we can replace it again. But I just want to see it. I just want it in for now. Just want it in. Want it all together. Want to be able to move on and do some other stuff with some other stones. That's good. That's good. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while. I want a really thick one for this because it's a small piece. I don't usually like to go that size. I usually like to go bigger, just in general, but if I have to right for now, like I said, because we're low on stone, I gotta take a trip to the quarry to get more. Pick more. And I saw it coming too when I finally got everything over here. I said, yeah, we're gonna be short. We're gonna need like 5 or 6 big stones. So it's not a whole pallet, it's not even half a pallet's worth. It's basically you go and you pick a truckload and haul it back. Pick the truckload's worth and haul it back, and then see how much work you get done then. I'm just gonna lift this guy up. I'm gonna just pick you. I'm gonna lift you up. I'm gonna try to make your day brighter. I'm gonna lift you up with good positive energy. I wish. I wish I could be so good. I'm going to lift you up with good positive energy. Who wants to be lifted? To all the people out there who want to be lifted. Gather round, folks, gather round. I should, even if I'm faking it, I should just, even when I'm really upset, I should just like, I should just start a live feed and just start talking like I'm some kind of health guru or televangelist, but not asking for any. I'm not asking you to join. Just say, I'm just gonna lift you up. It's worked in the past that when I get really upset about something, and it's always people who make me upset, like if people just want to be real twits, they just want to piss you off, they just want to be rude, they just have to do it, just have to be rude. And it's one of those like, oh, I'm holding back. I'm keeping my cool. Really holding back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really keeping my cool right now until I can just get away from this person. That's my thing, is just to get away from them as quickly as possible. It's always been my thing. Even when I was a kid, that's what I did. I would just bail on people, even my own friends. If anything annoyed me, I just leave. I wouldn't even say anything. I would just ditch out. People would get mad at me. Why'd you just bail like that? Well, because I was getting annoyed. I don't like that dude. I don't want to be around him. He's always picking on me. You know, it's that kind of thing. You always get those people picking on you. Pick. Alright, I hear noise. I hear event going on from within. So, we're getting this guy in. Just put that in for now. Come back to it. We'll get more stone. I'm gonna get a couple extras so that I can do, that I can replace some. That looks alright. It's okay. See, it's just not thick enough to really withstand. Slight stone that I would like to, yeah, polyurethane shellac, cornstarch. The scent thing. It's kind of funny. Now, who the heck? What? Jesus. It seems like I can never do anything. There's always people and activity around. I might have to boot this. Yeah, the scent. I can't stand the way some people smell. Saber-tooth, tiger rock. Carvings are nice though. Yeah, thanks. Ciao. Yeah. No knee pads, do we miss? Yeah, I have. Yeah, lacquer. You can lacquer stone. You can use sealer, like Stone Bright it's a product. It's a type of sealer. I'm just gonna sweep this guy in. Stone Bright's a roll-on. It's a stone sealer. It works really well. Makes the stones kind of shiny, or allows you to be able to put like other shine materials on them to make them shiny. I think the shiny stone thing has its place. It's it's a thing. It's cool. I mean, I like taking like old rustic stuff, like old rusty metal, and I'll take something like this and clean it and spray it with a varnish, or spray it with a beeswax thing, or polish seal or shellac or lacquer. Lacquer's the thing for dried out stones and tools and metals. Lacquer's usually the thing because I mean, there's lots of things you can use. Beeswax is that, or paraffin wax is really good because it doesn't have a skin coat. It doesn't have a shell that's going to peel and get ugly later down the road. I think stone braid is probably one of the coolest things ever made. Products that you can use across the board for a lot of things. That's probably the one that I would most. It's a stone sealer. I go to a special. It's like tile. You could use tile sealer. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy. It's like the shoe polish. It looks just like a shoe polish thing. You seal it. You use it to seal your tiles the same exact way as you would polishing a pair of shoes. For indoor stuff, yeah, definitely. Or even out, like, you know, it's probably might turn yellow in the sun. That's the one thing. It's the one reason I wouldn't use something is because it might turn yellow in the sun. Like some epoxies will turn yellow in the sun. And that's why I don't recommend epoxies for a lot of stuff. And you even look on the package for the epoxy. You can get cheap epoxy kits at Harbor Freight. They come in the squeeze thing, and they come in the two separate little, like, they look like crazy glue tubes. Either one works. I've used both. Those say non-yellowing. I've used that stuff for tons of stuff too. And you know what's really cool about those Harbor Freight things like that at Harbor Freight that they have? You can get super glue packs there. The JB Weld type of stuff. It's like the gray wad up epoxy based metal fixer. It's a temp, but I use that stuff for like gas tanks on my saws, on my weed eaters. I used it to patch up a fuel tank on a weed eater. It's great for it sticks to plastic. It gets harder, or as hard as most plastics. It's resilient. So far, so good. It's working really well on the fuel tanks. You know, you get old fuel tanks, the corners of them crack a lot. When they get old, they've been around, they've been on trucks, off trucks, they've been dropped, they've been beat up, they've been out in the hot sun. Those fuel tanks are going to crack. A friend of mine was telling me that on one of his trucks, he got pulled over by the what is it? DOT, Department of Transportation, because he got pulled over as a routine stop. They're pretty adamant about it here, but he said that they found a small fuel leak on a fuel line, and instead of red tagging him, he asked him, he said, well, can I put JB Weld on it to get it home? Oh yeah, as long as it's not leaking. We don't care what you do to make it not leak, as long as there's no fuel present. And he had some JB Weld in there. Okay, I just need 10-15 minutes or whatever. And they said, fine. They hung out and he fixed it. He didn't get red tagged. So it's kind of a funny story to hear, good story to hear. I mean, that's, you know, they're not just out there to give people a hard time. They want you to be not leaking fuel all over the place in a big truck. Which makes sense. They don't want you driving down the road peeing fuel everywhere. I wish they would, well, I don't know if I wish they would stop cars. Now that both of mine are... See, the thing is with those trucks, they're inspected every year just like any other car. But they have a more likelihood of problems because they haul stuff. They're on the road carrying heavy stuff a lot more than we are. So they're going to be more picky about the shape and condition of those vehicles. I might have to do something here because this is sticking up and I don't want that sticking up. This is a little bit low here on this end, a little bit high here. If I could lower this whole thing just a little bit, because it's a little bit tall here. A little bit tall, you know. See, sometimes I'm just seeing this now. It's too much of a bump there. I don't want that there. And I'm looking at the one next to it. The one next to it's not horrible off this corner. This corner's okay. I can accept that if I can get the rest of it to work out. Where I get nervous though, because I don't want to break the thing. I've been putting all this time and effort in. I've saved it this long. Finally found a spot for it. Because I thought it was a cool stone in the beginning. I was like, oh, look how cool. We'll save that. We'll put it somewhere really neat. And it's going to be, it's not going to be in a super high traffic area, so. Yes, I've been talking for the past hour and a half straight because you guys are here to talk to. And I'm just trying to get a few things in today because I was not feeling well at all today. I'm starting to do the late night work overnights again. Doing the delivery thing. Students are back. They're all piling back in. We're getting busy. And that's when we're really busy is late at night. Like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I don't get to bed until 3 or 4 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m. Then I try to get up the next day at some point and have some of the day to do things. And there's a lot that I'm not getting done because I still have this project here going on, but you know, could be worse. That's not the worst thing to have to come here every week and have work to do. Not the worst thing. Could be worse. The only downside is I don't have any freedom right now. I was talking about this yesterday. I have no time. No time to myself. No time to do my own things. No time to do the projects that I'm been wanting to do. So, because this is a long overextended stay here, visit, you know, I agreed, because however long you need me, I'll be here. But, yeah, now it's starting to get where I want to be able to step away for a bit work on stuff that I have been ignoring, neglecting. And the thing is nobody can pay me what I can pay myself. If I'm just left to go out and chase money around during the day, I do a pretty good job of it. But the minute that I gotta stop and do something for somebody, that all goes away. You don't, and that's just it. That's, you know, like I can go do the delivery thing, and I can make pretty good money doing it all week long. Every week, very consistently. And it's not like I'm making a ton of money, but I'm not spending a lot either. The thing is there with the delivery thing, you're making money every single day. Every minute that you're out working, you get paid for that. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's immediate. It's like you put the time in, you get paid for that time. Doesn't matter if it's $5, if it's $20, or what. It doesn't matter what you're getting paid. It's okay. I put, you know, I did 4 deliveries and now I got $70. I did really well, or I did pretty well, you know. Or I did 4 deliveries and now I got 150 in my account. Well, I did really well. I would rather not be doing anything else today. Or there's I did 4 deliveries. I made $30. You know, or 4 deliveries, $20. Now we're getting to where, yeah, I'm gonna have to be out here all day doing deliveries, waiting for orders to kick in and get good. Because days like that, you only get an hour or 2 out of the entire day. And you can make money quick in that hour or 2, but you're sitting out there all day waiting for it. And you're doing a lot of, see, the trick to delivering, I got it nailed down where you're doing a lot of small sets. It's like, all right, I'm going to go out and deliver now, and if it's not good, I'm going to be out after a few deliveries. Like, I'm going to just bounce after a few deliveries. And so I'll go out, and this is why I think it's beneficial. I think it's why I'm so good at making money at it, because I don't hang around. If I'm losing money, there's other stuff I go do. You know, I've always got errands to run, or I've got shop work that I want to do. I'll go to the shop. I'll leave town. I'll peel out and I'll go to camp and hang out and do some organizing or fix a saw or carve, do some carvings there. Fix the car. There's always time. The way that I work most of the time is I'm always looking for personal time. I'm always looking for me time, and I never get it. I'm always trying to get it. I never get it. If I take any personal time, it's usually going up to my parents and doing some work at their place. You know, doing something for them, or working on carvings that somebody asked me to do months ago. You know, and the whole thing is I live those months waking up every day going, man, I gotta do that, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. But every day I got my list of priorities and bills and payments to make, and gotta make a certain amount to survive every day. So that carving that has been eating me alive for the past 4 months never gets done. Because I might start it and then I even go to the shop with the intent of working on it, and then by the time I'm getting through my normal routine of things every day at the shop, like greasing machines, going through, saws, whatever, cleaning the shop, sorting, putting trash away, getting trash ready for a dump run, bottles and cans, like cleaning cars out. I don't know, I clean the car out like every third day. It gets that full of stuff. And I have multiple cars. So then it's like changing oil or refilling differentials just so I can go down the road. It's like by the time I get through my list of priority stuff, then I'm saying, well, I need to go make money. It's time to go deliver, and there now it's busy for delivery. So I never get the carving done. And today was one of those, like, should I go carve and just skip out and get some carvings done that I have to get done? Or should I go to the stone job? And I'm like, now I'm in that double-edged sword where I'm telling myself, you got to get this job done. You're never going to have any time for anything if you don't finish that job. And I keep telling myself that. I'm like, but I also need to go make money. And I can't make extra money. And I need extra money right now because I'm broke. I'm living off what little I got from the fair a month ago. Literally have been living off of that and making if I need 20, 30 bucks, or if I can make 50 bucks in a night doing DoorDash, I will go do it. But DoorDash and Uber and Instacart has not been that good. And there's nights where you only get 3 or 4 hours or 5, 6 hours at a time. And I'll go until it gets stupid. I'll go until the people at the stores start pissing me off because they take forever to get your order ready, and they take forever just to say hi to you on a microphone that they don't even got to stop and hold the microphone. All they got to do is say, hey, how's it going? And I'll say, hey, I got a couple Uber orders. Okay. Instead of making you sit there and wait, and they never say hi to you, they never acknowledge that you're even there. The one that got me last night was, you could hear her like she was going to talk. Like you could hear her. You're sitting there at the menu board thing waiting for her to even acknowledge that you're there. Because that's what you're supposed to do, to be polite, to be like, yeah, I got an Uber order. All right, pull around. Or they say, what's the number? Okay, we got it here. Well, pull up, skip the line, and pull to the third window all the way at the other end of the store. Most of the restaurant workers will do that for you. They'll get you moving. They'll at least get you acknowledged. This one chick at this McDonald's, and it's McDonald's. It's always McDonald's. It's like, you guys are so overpaid. So overpaid. You don't do anything. You can't even say hi to people when they pull up. Like, they act like their job is so tough They're so busy. You don't cook anything at McDonald's. I'm sorry to say. McDonald's, they don't cook anything at McDonald's. It's not real food. You rip open the package and dump it in the thing, and it heats itself up. And that's not that hard of a job. Like, seriously, I've worked in restaurants before. I know what cooking is. I know what busyness is. And it's just like they just don't know how to be organized or polite. God forbid you should expect them to be both, organized and polite, and acknowledge you that you're there. I'm going to cut here because I don't want it being too small. I don't like the small pieces. I want this being big enough that it's going to work. And yeah, we're trying to keep it from looking like certain weird things. I don't know. I don't even know if this is the right thing to do here. I could just cut that and fit a piece in there easily, but now I'm getting into a whole other ball of wax that I don't really want to get into. I would just like this section done. At this point, I would just like it to be done. Done with, over with. We're getting there, but it's going slow because it's all small stone and I don't have a lot of big stuff that's too thick. So I'm trying to be patient with it. Don't get me wrong, guys. Work is work. Any job can be a tough job. High volume, whatever. But I've been a cook. I've worked in lots of restaurants. I've worked fast food. But our fast food, we still had to cook the burgers from raw meat, fresh. It wasn't open them up and dump them in a steamer tray like you do at McDonald's. That's not cooking. It's not hard. sometimes, like that kind that looks like an art piece is pretty cool. Sometimes I just stop and look at these things and I'm like, that looks cool. That's one of the ideas. If I ever get some time to make my own type of artwork thing. I want a museum. I like museum stuff. I want my stuff in a museum someday. Not a museum, maybe a gallery. 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 Gallery cloud. Sometimes, doing all that, the Eagles and Bears, that gets old. I mean, that's the hardest thing for me to commit to right now. It's just the style of art. It's not really my style. I like the big bear. He's cool. Yeah, like I want to work on him. But it's going to be a while before he sells, I'm sure. I mean, the goal is to do mostly big bears. Just do big bears out of the shop and have your small ones. But even the small ones, like, you're in such a market now. You're always competing with China. You're always competing with. When you're making small items, you're dealing with small pay per item. And you're competing with plastic junk. You're competing with production made crap. Whether it's in high quality, whether it's all handmade goods or not, even there you're getting, it's not like if I make one big 5 or 6 foot or 7 foot tall bear and sell it for $1,000, not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that. So that would be my niche market, because I have it laid out and I'm investing the money in the machinery and the tools. That's a really old piece of metal. It's really cool. I thought I found a bullet the other day. It's but you're not gonna sell $1,000 bears. I mean, yeah, it's really cool when you do, because I can sell them. I can make them and sell them in about the same amount of time that it takes me to make a bunch of little ones and make $1,000. And still with the little ones, I gotta put them online. I gotta ship them. I gotta buy shipping materials. I don't have to do that with the big ones. The big ones, I just wait until I go to a big show. And they always sell, mind you. I don't know if other people have problems selling their big ones, or if they even think, oh, that's a big one, I'm not taking that one. I'm thinking the exact opposite. I'm like, that's what people want to see, because they don't see that. It's like I did that fair. I brought a big bear. They're like, I've never seen a bear that big at a fair before. That's so cool. How much do you want for it? And they're like, wow, that's pretty decent price on it too. And I'm like, well, I gotta make it so I can make a living doing this and keep doing it. Make sure, like that real big one that I'm working on now at the shop, he's not gonna go for cheap. He will not go for cheap. That's going to be a really cool one, and it's going to be expensive when it's done. That would be like a $2,000 or $3,000 bear at least, because I've done them. I'll just put it to you this way: I base my pricing and my thought process off what I've done for commissions, and I'm including the ones that I've lost my shirt on and the ones that I've done well on. And I did one commission where I made, I think I got $7,000. I got paid $7,000 for a 10-foot bear, 10 or 11 feet. But it was a logo. It was a sports team logo. I think I made $6,000 or $7,000 off that in the end. Took a long time. It was a tough one. That was a bit too much for me, but then I'm looking at what I got off of it, and when I got the, when I would get a payment from that, I would be like, wow, like, that's all right. That's all right to see some money on that, It's kind of like some stone jobs. Some stone jobs can be like, I'm not gonna ask for anything right away. I'm not gonna ask for much right away. I'm just gonna get in, put my head down, get moving, get stuff going, and I just want to work. And then after a while, I'll start worrying about the money part of it, and then I say, well, yeah, I could use some money, and all of a sudden it's like that hits, and you're like, wow, that felt good. Like, but it's like I let it build up till I feel like there's a thorn in my side telling me like, you really got it, like I try to go too long without pay, because then when I get pay, it feels really good. And that's when it's like really needed. And it gives me room to focus on other things. It really does. And that's mostly why I do it, because that's what I call the price of freedom. Freedom isn't free. You're going to have to sacrifice somewhere to have your freedom. Mine is just being broke all the time. And if I got money at every job, every day I showed up, I don't know if I'd be rich. I definitely wouldn't be happy, because I'd be there all the time and I'd be stressed out as hell about it. I gotta get this done and move on to the next one, because then I wouldn't be doing anything I wanted to do. And I don't know if I'd be making any more that way than I am now. In the end. So it's relative decision, because like I said, I could have a good week of DoorDash when it's busy and the kids are back. If I can bail on this type of thing, because if I'm caught up, and I can be like, well, I got to take a week or two to just cram deliveries and do carvings and organize the shop. I'm trying to get my sawmill built, trying to get my soil screen set up done so I can start producing good compost soil or whatever. Got a million things. I got a car to build. Like, my goal is to just be able to cram through as best I can. I'm kind of finding the burning the candle at both ends sometimes is the best way. When you get in a rhythm, if you're burning the candle at both ends and you're actually in a rhythm, and you're just like, you wake up every day and you're like, I'm not even thinking about what I got to do. I know there's 10,000 things I got to do and 20 different places for me to go. And I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to think about it or worry about it. That's what I want. That's what I like. That's why the fairs are tough, because you're stepping away from all your stuff and you already have enough issues managing it most of the time. There's times where I get up early and I'm like overpumped, overfilled with excitement just for the day. I get ahead of myself. My adrenaline gets flying out the window, and I try to stay calm and try to stay collect. The next thing I know, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm laying down to take a nap in the car or at camp or whatever, because I've already had it for the day. Already went too fast, too hard, too quick. Already spent. o'clock in the afternoon. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. There. I'm happy. I'm really happy with that now. Fixed it. Fixed something. I fixed something today. I like it. Got something done. For a change. Didn't put any new stuff in. Like, no further down the line, but I solved this and it looks good now. We're done with it. It's in. I don't have to pound on them anymore. Worry about breaking any of them. See, and when I set the stones, right after I set them, I put grit in the joints and I let it settle in. And then later I come through and pressure wash out, because what happens if you don't do that, your joints never fully fill up and lock your stones into place. As soon as you pressure wash out so you can get your depth for your poly sand, you're going to be below the depth of the stone. So you don't want that sitting like that for very long. You want it to be stable too while it's sitting vulnerable like that. You don't want it being a bad spot that could blow out later, and all of a sudden you got stones shifting all over. Because each of these stones has unevenness underneath it on the underside. That's going to lock it in. That's going to let that, you could undermine down deep before it starts caving in, as long as you're compact underneath the stone. That's the whole idea behind the pounding. The pounding, we're just trying to jostle the stone and vibrate it enough so that it gets everything underneath it pushed down together and pushed out sideways. So then when you take the pressure washer or a hose and you blast out the cracks, the joints, it doesn't undermine anything. Nothing caves in underneath it. We'll go over all that too when I'm doing the actual pressure wash stuff. I'll show you some things there. Show you how I prep for the sand. Show you what the factory guy was recommending the other day when I sat on the phone with him. I sat on the phone with that guy for almost 2 hours. Got so much information. He was so good to sit there, and help me out, give me all this great info. So I could become an Alliance rep maybe someday if I keep using their product this much. I like the product. I really believe in it. I think it's a great product. And now I like the company. I really like the company of people that you have to deal with when you're calling for help. They're really, really on the ball. They really want to help you. It's good to have companies like that actually thrive off of being good. They actually thrive off of customer support. They thrive off of having a good reputation. So I probably have to reset one of these guys. I don't want to lift the bigger one unless I absolutely have to because of where it's sitting, but I keep running over that spot there. I might just lift this middle-sized one. We'll see when we get there. Redos are like when you're tying into old work, it gets hard because you get a lot of areas. that even when you first were looking at it, it didn't look like it was that off, and then when you go to fix or work around it, it's like, oh, I got to reset all this now. And it's because things do shift as they age. They do change. Stones break. Look at this nice fossil stone. I think that's really cool. I think the customer's gonna absolutely flip out when he sees it, because he's into that really cool. Like, he really does look at all the stones, like in that, like, he really likes seeing it. You know, it's like being outside walking around on a riverbed. You know, he's just fascinated by it all. He's like, God, that's so cool. I love it. And so he'll see that. That's like a little surprise for him. I think it's going to take him a while to notice. Might take him a while to notice right away. Then again, might be something that he notices right away. Like, boom, that jumps out. Because he sees stuff. Like, he was actually eyeballing this stone. This is a piece of the stone that broke off of a bigger one. And I saved it because it was like a big shark's tooth or whatever, or a big saber-tooth tiger tooth. Tusk, the big elephant tusk or whatever. I was like, that's got to go in a patio somewhere. I didn't see the fossil till the other day. And he was eyeballing this. He's been eyeballing this stone, like checking it. He likes going through his pallet of rocks that he bought. And he's always coming over. And he was flipping that around. Oh, cool, I got to do something. I'm like, that's going in a patio unless you take it and I don't see it again. Unless it disappears from my surroundings. As long as I have it in sight and in my thoughts, it's going in the patio. So, they never took it. You can go ahead and take it if you want it, or hide it. Because if I see it anywhere, it's going back on the pallet until it goes in. That's how I am about stuff. If you want it, take it. I will never think about it again. I won't miss it. I promise you. So yeah, you got all this to reset. You got a lot of reset to do. This is kind of a pain in the butt, real slow. End of the deal right now. Getting everything right before you move on is what we're doing. Because I don't have a lot of stones left. I could get all of those in, like cut. I could get them all cut and fit and chipped in a day, probably. In like a solid day. I could put in a solid day ever. If I was ever able to do a solid day with no interruption. But my life does not normally allow for that. So that's why you guys get to see 4-hour-long live feeds where I never shut up. Because I'm just talking as I'm working and as I'm thinking about my work and nothing else, really. So, we're going to give you the view from a different angle here. And we're going to try to see now. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh. Yeah. So this is the view from a different angle. Because I got to work over here now. Tomorrow's job, we'll get this area figured out, finalized. I wanted to do this today. I wanted to have this walkable. I wanted to know, because it was all doing this, and stones were this much difference in height before I got here today. Now it's not bad. Now we can move on. might adjust rusty stone a little bit. I don't think I'm going to. I don't really need to. I might. We'll see. We'll see how that goes in the end. I don't know yet. I don't have the answer. Said hi. Said hi. I don't understand. Is that AI going, said hi? It's like so-and-so said hi? Or is that people typing like I'm supposed to hear you say hi when I'm over here? Said hi. Said hi, I don't get, it's like when people comment now, they're like, 40-year veteran steel worker here. Like, where did we change our, I mean, okay, maybe you're trying to be polite. But we weren't doing this a few years ago. We weren't misspelling everything a few years ago. Now we misspell everything. People are trying to be more polite than they used to be as far as introductions go. Like when you come into a comment section, now you announce like 35-year-old or 35-year veteran tractor trailer driver here. Like everything is about announcing your presence and where you come from, you know, before you say it. It's like I don't know if it's so good, because I don't walk around Walmart doing that. Like 25-year Mason here, I can tell you that canola oil is better to use in chainsaws than vegetable oil. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just go around, like, having to introduce myself. Like, you don't see people on TV doing that. Like, the experts on HGTV. It's like, people see that guy, and they know he's going to give them some expert advice about something. Because they've seen him before. Or he just looks like we had the estimators at the last company I worked at. And they just looked like the minute they showed up, they were a pure business, and that was what, and they didn't even have to introduce themselves. You knew it when they walked on your job site. That was the guy. That was a guy that a lot of people talk to and depend on throughout the day for information or for stuff to keep the job running. Like, I'll go to Home Depot, I'll get your stuff for you, what do you need? Or, I know what you need, I'll go pick it up. Yes, thank you, that's awesome. You know, like, don't make your installers go do all the shopping. Make your estimators go, how about that? Instead of your estimators having to go and fix a job, how about you put the rubber on the road where it's best applied? You know what I mean? Like, make your estimator go to the store and do the shopping. Make your estimator talk on the phone all day. Make your estimator drive around and do errands. Make it so your workers can keep working. Your labor force, your installers, your skilled guys should not have to deal with loading materials all the time. Your estimate when your installer, your experienced guy, says, I need help. I just need someone loading and unloading pallets and moving stuff around with the machine all day while I'm working. Otherwise, I'm never going to get anything done because I got to do it all. And then I got to tell the guy what to do who won't listen or who doesn't do all that stuff. So you to find me the guy. I would prefer it if you did it. How about you come by and do it, Mr. Estimator? You can operate the machine. I trust you. You know, it's one of those things, like if I'm trying to get you to run machine, it's because I see that you would be very good at it, and I don't want to be doing it anymore. It happens on all my jobs. I always try to get people, I'm like, here, look, it's easy. It's really, I show you. Please, get me off the damn thing. I got a million other things I got to do. Alright, so this is looking good here. And again, these are a little thin, but being in this corner, I think they're going to be okay for the most part. If they're not, you can always get thicker stone later and trace them. You can trace these stones like you saw me do 6 times with those. You're probably going to have some replacements here and there. I'm not afraid to admit where I went wrong or where I just came up short on material and just wanted it to be filled. I want it filled, I want it level. Can always come back if it's a problem. See, this thickness is ideal as a minimum. That's our minimum, and that's about our minimum footprint size. But finding that now is pretty difficult with what limited resources I have. Even this is a little thin for my taste. I like thicker stones. The problem with the thin ones is they never do fully sit flat and tight. They never do. No matter what you do, they're going to misbehave a little bit. They're going to want to misbehave. They're going to want to do their own thing because they're too light. They're too light for their own good. They're not stable in my eyes. Or as what I want to get out of them, they're not going to provide it. I'd rather just get away from it and have what I want, what I need all the time. But you can't always. I could go to the quarry, but then I wouldn't be here. You know, double-edged sword. I could go to pick stone, but then I wouldn't be here installing stone. It'd be nice to have somebody else do it for me. I mean, I don't mind taking a shopping trip every now and then, but when I actually have a lot to do and want to get it done, that's the last thing I want to do. Is go hang out, buying materials, and running around town in traffic, waiting on people to move, waiting on them to decide, get the right blinker, decide what that right blinker's for, and decide what the left one is for. That's what I think most of this town around here. I think they're just trying to decide what it's for. They're trying to rationalize its existence before they use it. Because half of them don't even know how to use it right. They signal left and turn right. Joke about that all the time with them too around here. They signal left and turn right. I should have put ledger under here. Silly me. Even with this, because you're working up against, I forgot, that's foam. That's a foam board with a micro filament crete. That's fakeness. It's fake stuff. It's not going to hold back a whole lot of weight. It's just the insulator, paper barrier covering. It's a master wall. foam would mask the wall on the side of the concrete foundation. I don't know what time it is, but I know I've had you guys on for a while. And so there I got the corner tacked. That's gonna change. I mean, it's gonna change. I'm not happy with it, it's gonna change. Hard thing right now, like I said, is all the thin, small stones that I'm dealing with. It's almost at the point where I'm just gonna say enough is enough. That's wasting time now. Like, I'm actually wasting time trying to make this work. I cut that one 10 times or whatever it was. I'm only keeping this going because you guys are around, and I just like to battle. You know me. I don't know if I'm gonna get myself in any other messy situations today or not. Might just head to the shop. I hear people, so maybe. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bail. I see a lot of you have bailed. Thanks for being around. I really appreciate it, guys. Talk to you later.